In Hollywood, winning an Oscar, that's like being crowned royalty. It's the absolute peak, right? But what if I told you that very crown could make you a target? Well, we're about to dive into a ruthless, unwritten rule that really runs Tinseltown.
Now listen to this quote. "We made you, and we are going to destroy you." Chilling, right? And get this, that's not a line from some gritty movie script. Nope, that was a real threat, spoken by a powerful studio head to an Oscar-winning star. It pretty much sums up a brutal truth about Hollywood. The very system that builds you up can, and absolutely will, tear you right back down. So let's break this down with a metaphor. Think of the crown. That's the pinnacle of success. The Oscars, the fame, all of it. And the guillotine? Well, that's the industry's way of taking it all away the second you step out of line.
And to really see how this plays out, we're going to dig into 3 pretty shocking case studies. We're talking about 3 incredible actresses from completely different eras who all reached the absolute top, only to have their careers just dismantled, systematically.
All right, let's kick things off. Our first story takes us way back to the golden age of Hollywood. Now, you got to remember, this was a time when the studios had absolute, total power over their stars. And this is really where the pattern begins.
So in 1936, and then again in 1937, an actress named Louise Rayner did something that was just unthinkable. She won the Best Actress Oscar 2 years in a row. Nobody had ever done that before. I mean, she was without a doubt the biggest star on the planet. She was wearing the crown.
But then, look at this. It's just wild. Right at the absolute peak of her fame, her career doesn't just slow down, it completely nosedives. We're not talking about a slow fade. This was a sudden, dramatic freefall. And the big question is, why?
So, what did she do that was so terrible? Was it a huge scandal, a string of box office bombs? Nope. Her crime was simply challenging the authority of her studio boss. She just wanted better roles, a little more say in her own career. And for that one act of defiance, he made good on that threat we talked about. He destroyed her. She was effectively blackballed, completely shut out of the very industry she used to rule.
Okay, now let's jump forward in time, a few decades later. The old studio system? Pretty much gone. But those power dynamics? Oh, they didn't disappear. They just morphed into something new. And the case of Mira Sorvino is a perfect example.
So it's 1996, and Mira Sorvino is absolutely on top of the world. She snags the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, and everyone is calling her one of the most brilliant talents of her generation. I mean, you can imagine, every single door in Hollywood was wide open for it.
But then, she crossed paths with one of the most powerful men in the industry at the time, Harvey Weinstein. He made unwanted advances toward her, and she said no. She refused him. A simple act of standing up for herself, but one with absolutely devastating consequences.
So what happened next? Well, all of a sudden, her phone just stopped ringing. Big roles that she was perfect for, that she was up for, they mysteriously went to other people. Her incredible meteoric rise just came to a complete grinding halt. The guillotine had fallen again, but this time it was quiet, effective, and all happened behind closed doors.
All right, on to our final case. This one brings us right into the 21st century. And this time, the so-called crime wasn't about creative control, it wasn't about personal boundaries, it was about something even more fundamental. It was about money.
Remember 2010? Monique gave this absolute powerhouse performance in the movie Precious and won the Oscar for it. I mean, it was completely unforgettable, universally acclaimed, a true career-defining moment. She had absolutely earned her crown.
So after she wins this huge award, the industry expectation is that she'll go on this international promotional tour for the movie, for free. But Monique's position was pretty simple and honestly, pretty logical. Hey, if it's work, it should be in my contract and I should get paid for it. She was just treating her career like a business. And the system's response? It was fast, and it was brutal. The word started to spread. Monique is difficult. And then we tell you, that one word, that's basically a death sentence in Hollywood. The opportunities just vanished. She wasn't punished for a lack of talent. She was punished for demanding to be paid what she was worth. Okay, so let's take a step back. We've got 3 different women from 3 totally different eras. When you put it all together, a really clear pattern starts to emerge.
I mean, look at this. It lays out the formula perfectly. First, you win the crown. Then,
You commit a crime, which, let's be real, is always just defying the existing power structure. And then you face the guillotine. It didn't matter if it was about creative control, personal boundaries, or just fair pay. The end result for all three of these incredibly talented women was exactly the same. 3 different eras, 3 different women, but it's one identical message. And that message, that unwritten rule, is crystal clear. Do not challenge us. The faces might change, from studio heads in the 30s to powerful producers in the 90s, but the message, it stays exactly the same.
And the weapon they use has a name. It's called blackballing. And it's tricky because it's not some formal process, right? There are no emails, no memos. It's a whisper network. It's an informal consensus that just decides your career is over. They make sure the phone stops ringing. It's totally invisible, and it's absolutely devastating.
So, we've seen this same pattern play out for almost 100 years. Which brings us to the big, unavoidable question, what does all this mean for Hollywood today?
And this is a question for all of us, really. After everything, social media, the #MeToo movement, all these calls for transparency, has the machine actually changed? Has the power dynamic in Hollywood fundamentally shifted? Or has the system just gotten better at hiding the guillotine?
When you look back at these stories, the answer feels, well, a little chilling. Maybe there are new players, but maybe it's still the same game.